Well, hello my beautiful Librans, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask, how are you doing? So this reading is going to tap into what's going on with you at this present moment in time, how you're moving through this time period, and of course, what lies on the other side. So let us start your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Librans? What do they need to know right now? Can you please show them the way? Illuminate what lies ahead. What is it that they are moving through at this present moment in time and what is to come? We have the Moon card as your foundational card. So a lot of you are feeling a little bit uncertain about the future. You're trying to romance your life and focus on your dreams and your goals, but you're not sure what lies ahead, whether you're going to be successful in those things or what is to come when it comes to the world. A lot of volatility there at this moment in time. So you may be feeling, a little bit nervous or fearful of the next steps. But also I'm getting this energy of a void. There's a void moon on that card. So it can indicate that some of you, something has changed within you and you're trying to navigate this transition period. There's an energy of trying to tap into your intuition. It can be that, you've experienced some sort of lull or even, I don't really want to say this word, but for some of you, you're a very passionate person, but you may have felt recently that there is a sadness, a lament, or even, dare I say, an emptiness when it comes to some of the things that you used to do, that you used to love doing, because the Lover's card is there. Now, this may not resonate with all of you, of course, but it just feels like life or something, maybe even relationships, it just feels like something's hitting a bit different with the Moon and the Lover's card. These are two major arcana cards here. Now, I'm only taking the uprights in the deck. We've got the High Priestess. So this is caution. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there, my beautiful Librans. Of course, this may not resonate with everyone, but the High Priestess can indicate that some of you, of course, personally, you're tapping into your intuition to understand yourself better, but also, people around you can be that intuitively you're picking up on fears or anxiety. with regards to some of the people around you, and it can be that you're creating a foundation to be there for a person or, you know, for a group of people there. But also I feel a lot of you are deeply reflective, very cerebral at this time, thinking about, you know, your path, reprogramming anything you experienced from your past. It can be that you are, you know, empowering yourself for the next steps of your journey. You are putting an end to perhaps cycles of repeat, generational experiences, repetitive habits. You are breaking free from that at this time, and you're learning new things about yourself, what you're capable of. And a lot of you are trying to have faith even through challenging times there, because the moon can be a very challenging energy. And as a foundational energy, it can be that you're going through like your shadow self at this time, your worries, your fears. You're putting them into perspective though, because you have that high priestess energy there. We've got the Four of Cups. Some of you are searching for signs or omens because you may be trying to make a decision, or you may be trying to make some change in your life, and you're trying to tap in intuitively so that you can logically take the next steps. Now, I am feeling collectively a lot of people right now are trying to authentically return to a part of themselves they feel like they lost touch with. And you have that Queen of Swords there, which is a Libra card. So it can indicate that you're trying to reconnect to self. You know, you're someone who is self-assured, you are self-sufficient, and I feel like you're a very independent person. But you may have lost sight of self throughout your responsibilities, your tasks. Life got pretty serious recently, and you know, you may feel that you need to remain organized and structured in order to keep life moving in a forward motion direction. And we've got that Ten of Cups there. So this can indicate you have a lot of family responsibilities, or you're trying to tap into a dream that you have, of course, of your future, of the things that you desire for a secure, you know, future there, happiness. You want it all. You want, of course, that happy ever after. You're working towards it as well. And I feel like you will, you know, receive it. You will achieve it there. We have that Page of Wands. Now, this is about that spark, that curiosity for life and, you know, your endeavors, your passion. We got the Queen of Cups. You know, I'm shuffling the cards, and a lot of the collective are getting very similar cards at this time. So this can be that everybody is feeling very sensitively, picking up on vibrations in the world as well as with each other. There can be this collective compassion, but also this collective anxiety, because we are experiencing a lot of volatility in the world right now. But that Queen of Cups can indicate that you're trying to honor your own needs. We have that Four of Wands. There is much celebration and coming togetherness in your energy and in your reading right now. There's something here that you're navigating that I feel will come together as it should. And that Four of Wands is to return to self. It is to return to happier times as well. So this reading, it's not really meant to be about things outside of yourself, like projects or people. This can be something that you're going through. And fours tend to mean that you're trying to ground yourself or trying to find a foundation of stability when everything around you feels changeable. Okay, especially since you have the moon as, you know, a foundational card there. Now, a lot of you may be having some very challenging dreams at this moment in time as well, okay? And a lot of you, there's this energy. I mean, you've got the Four of Cups and the Queen of Swords. There can be this apathy. You know, I think I mentioned it. It's like this energy of reflection on things the way they used to be and how you used to feel about them. And there's this lull or lament or sorrow or emptiness in things that you used to love, because the Lover's card is to connect. It is a connection card, to connect to things that brought you joy. This could also be with people. You know, for some of you with the moon energy, the Lover's card crossing, it can be uncertainty in a relationship or in love itself. Some of you may have dealt with loss when it comes to love, and you're trying to navigate this world independently, and you may be wondering whether you will ever return to love or whether love will actually return to you. But I see that, there is in the future a connection to a high-level commitment. Four of Wands actually means settling down with somebody or getting engaged to somebody, but also this can be to celebrate a win. It can be an energy of integrating and also coming home to self. So I feel a lot of you with this moon energy, there is like a worry. Okay, I gotta say that's something that's there in this energy right now. It can be the unseen, being afraid or uncertain about what is to come. But I feel like you're finding a pathway. There's actually something that you're not aware of that is about to be delivered to you that is very rewarding, or something that you will celebrate. But I feel intuitively you're trying to navigate life, okay, or even develop your intuition at this time. And with the moon energy there's something of a void. Normally the moon on the moon card is this bright kind of orb in the sky, but on this particular card there is this void energy, and it can be that you're going through shadow energy right now. You are navigating a period of change, because the moon can be about changes or unseen changes. For example, something within you has changed and you're trying to recalibrate. Because there are fluctuating energies here as well, this can indicate that something within you has shifted or changed. It can be that hormones are off, because the moon connects to hormonal type energy, and the Lovers card can indicate that maybe your libido is fluctuating, or it can be that you are trying to navigate stress or cortisol levels at this time. You're trying to recalibrate your body in some way. And that can mean that you're cutting something out, something that you're tempted to connect to, something that perhaps is not good for you or triggers you in some way. So this could be something connected to the body. But a lot of you, because there's so many cerebral cards, I feel like you're trying to remain structured. Okay, these are aspects of self. Each position is an aspect of self, but I cannot ignore the fact that there is a Lovers card right here, and also a King of Swords and a Queen of Swords right here. So some of you may be navigating a separation or a divorce, for example, and I'm sending you a huge hug out there if that's something that you're going through. I feel like you could be entering a new period in life, a new era, as it were, and it feels daunting, it feels uncertain, especially if you've been part of a duo for a certain length of time and suddenly you're feeling bereft, like you're navigating new circumstances. But I can see that you will love again, and I feel like you're going through a healing process. I mean, there's also a Queen of Cups here. So I feel not only can these be aspects of self, which I will tap into because this reading is meant to be all about you, but the Four of Wands can be to integrate. So it can be that some of you are soul searching for soul tribe members at this time, or the nature of friendships are evolving, shifting. There's distance. Queen of Swords is to be distant from, or to be detached in some way. So you may feel there's a person, or even yourself, you're detaching from something that just doesn't feel like it aligns with you anymore. But with that Four of Wands, I feel like you can come together in the future, as it were. So if this is a group of people, I feel there is a harmony, there is a connection, there is an affinity, an alignment, and an understanding. So if it's a family dynamic, for example, I feel, there is a celebratory energy where you overcome a milestone or you get through something. But I feel with that kind of distance, it gives the relationship the space to breathe, for people to think about their actions and take accountability and responsibility for actions. So if you're dealing with that at this time, I do feel that there is a togetherness in the future, okay? And if you're separated from somebody and it just feels a little bit uncertain or up in the air, or you're giving each other space to breathe right now, okay, I do see with that Four of Wands, there is a reuniting energy. The Four of Wands is to reunite or come together. And it can be that, there is more compassion, there is more understanding. Once we're apart from a situation, we can see it from a different perspective. And I feel if you're dealing with a separation right now, it can be that, the person you're dealing with acknowledges what life is like with you not in it. And I feel like they regret that. They want to take great strides to try and make it work in the future. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to disconnect from that energy, and I mean, I'm going to pull a quick card on it, but I'm going to disconnect from it because I feel this is more about you and this disconnection energy. You know, it's like some of you are walking a more authentic path and the nature of relationships are evolving. You have the relationship card there of the Lovers, but also the Lovers card is a choice card. So it can indicate that some of you are just trying to get clear with your truth. You're sitting on the precipice of change and a decision needs to be made. And you will find the right decision. It is within you. The answer is within you. The High Priestess is about withdrawing in order to get clear and new knowledge sort of coming towards you. Wisdom is delivered in silence. So a lot of you could be trying to get clear and just limit distractions at this time just to make a monumental decision in your life. And you're going to celebrate it. The decision you make is the right one. So trust your instincts on this. I mean, the Moon card says you're very instinctive. You are someone who has a lot of intuition. And the Lovers card indicates there's a change or a decision that needs to be made here. We have the Queen of Swords, which is to basically leave the past behind, make the right decision, move forward with purpose, and be really precise on what it is you're reaching for. I'm seeing lots of musical notes right now. So this could be something that's related to you tuning in to how you feel about something, or tuning into the right decision or to the answer. I mean, for some of you, this may also be aided with music. So it could be like quiet time with music, reflection, meditation, perhaps, is going to help you tap in deeper because you're having a conversation with your higher self here. A lot of you could be actually trying to develop your relationship with your higher self, and you may have found it's hard to get through to the next level, but the universe is actually going to open your crown chakra with such a degree of intensity that at first you may get like migraines, but you know, I feel it can be that suddenly you're opening that aspect of self, and I feel you reconnect to that part of yourself, and all the answers, everything you need is there within you. So moving away from energy, we've got the Devil card and the Ten of Wands. A lot of you are removing yourself from temptation, cutting out anything that's toxic. This can indicate someone who's been mean, or someone who perhaps has been really blunt, hurtful in some way, and you're trying to work out why they said what they said. That's if it's a people aspect. But a lot of you, you know, the Ten of Wands can be, there's a lot of responsibility, and you feel that you have a lot going on right now, and it's hard. You're feeling stuck in a rut in some way. You're restless. You're ready for change, because the Devil card can be bound to something. It can be with that Ten of Wands, you're bound to duty or responsibility, or life has been really heavy and you're exhausted and you find it really hard to detach from certain things right now. And detaching is what this whole reading seems to be about, because the Moon is, you know, that lull. It is to ebb and flow. The Queen of Swords is to detach. The King of Swords is to detach. But I feel in this detachment, you discover what's good for you and what's not good for you. And you could be cutting something out that you're tempted to fall back into a cycle, repeat on. It's like this time it's different. This time you're not connecting to it. You're not allowing the temptation to draw you back into a cycle of repeat if this is something that you're dealing with. You know, the Devil card is not an evil card. It can be that you're trying to lead with passion in life right now, but you have so much responsibility on your shoulders that you feel like you have to just be organized, disciplined, and do what you got to do in order to get by. But there's something that's calling you, that's, you know, you want to connect to, that you are passionate about, but you feel you can't do it right now. You know, it can be that you want to kick back, relax, have lots of fun, and like live a life of excess, for example, and forget all your worries and cares and just go off and like live in the moment, be spontaneous. But that Ten of Wands says you got something going on right now that you really need to focus on, something that requires your attention. And Ten of Wands is to be exhausted. A lot of you are pretty close to burnout. So that Moon energy can be, you need to withdraw sometimes in order to recharge your batteries. You know, Ten of Wands energy can indicate that you're on the precipice of change as well. that you are about to do something monumental, and you're gathering all of that strength in order to release yourself from something that has been binding or making you feel stuck. You're contemplating something, a disconnection. I'm just getting this energy of disconnection, okay? And you're disconnecting from something that isn't right for you, whether it's a path, whether it's a person, whether it's a situation. You may feel it's toxic for some of you, or you may feel it's just you having a decision to head down one route that is not good for you, or head down another, and you're like, okay, I'm choosing the one that is right for me, that is healthier for me at this time. You know, the moon energy is contemplation. It is reflection. It says here, subconsciousness, clarity, intuition, and there's beautiful cats there. So it's independently finding your way. But also the moon can represent the inner battle, you know, between comfort and spontaneity or independence. There's always a dog and a wolf on the moon card, which can indicate that there is a desire to be comfortable and have a foundation that is stable, but also does that come at the cost of relinquishing your independence? So if, for example, you're in a relationship right now and you love this person, especially with that Lover's card, there's a lot of love there, okay, with this card. It can indicate, you know, your person with that Four of Wands is about to pop the question, or, you know, you are thinking about marrying this person, settling down with this person, and whilst you love this person, settling down may be bringing up all these like conversations in your mind, your hopes, your fears about married life. Will it change? You know, will a person change? Does it like cut off your independence in some way? You know, there can be lots of questions that go along with you connecting to something long term. This could be like you connecting to a long-term contract in a job, for example, because this can be a proposal, a contract. So it can be that you're questioning something right now that potentially you're going to be connected to long term, but you're wondering, you know, do you want to surrender yourself to this? Do you want to give yourself over to this? Can you retain your sense of independence in this? And the answer is yes. Okay, so I definitely see you retaining your independence there. But the moon is a very sort of like cerebral kind of thoughtful energy. So you're reflecting deeply on your next steps, but also bringing your worries about these things into perspective. So if you're about to go through some monumental change in your life, you know, becoming a parent is a monumental change. Becoming a homeowner is a monumental change. Retiring is a monumental change. So I feel a lot of you could be questioning the nature of change right now and making a decision, looking at your options, looking at your choices, as it were, and kind of putting your worries into perspective. That there are necessary steps. It feels like you're moving towards something that you will celebrate. It feels like it's positive, whatever this is, but you need to reflect on it first to make sure that it's right for you, is what I'm getting here. Now, of course, if you have been going through a divorce, the Four of Cups can indicate that you're disappointed, that this is the way things turned out. You're like, where did the love go? What happened there? So you could be reflecting on that right now. And there may be this sorting out of emotions, almost feeling in like no man's land right now, a little bit numb about everything because there's a process and you're just moving through this process at this time. So I feel, you know, there is this energy here because the Lover's card is in the crossing position. So when it's in the crossing position, you also read the reverse of this card, which means some of you may be going through a separation, or some of you may feel separated from your sense of self. It feels like you're in limbo somehow. Even though you're locked onto your goals, your responsibilities, you're moving towards success, it can indicate, you know, you're wondering, how do you feel about all this stuff? Some of you may not have even had time to reflect on how you feel about stuff because you've just been doing. So I feel you're trying to make a conscious choice or decision about something, and it unites you with something that is actually going to be very beneficial for you long term. Whether that's you separating, going through a divorce, you know, right now you may feel a little bereft, soul searching, not really sure about the next steps, but ultimately it is going to align you with a lifestyle that you truly deserve and desire. It is going to align you with a person as well who has a chemistry with you, and you could settle down with a new person in the future. You can't see that happening right now because you're in the midst of this change, but it is there for you. Some of you, not all of you, and I'm sending you a huge hug out there if you've gone through this, some of you may actually be grieving. You know, this card can be a lament. It can be sorrow, especially if some of you with that King of Swords is in the past position. It can be that you've gone through bereavement. And, you know, the Four of Cups, you're looking for omens from this person. Show me a sign you're around me. This person, they're going to show you all of the signs. You know, the Four of Wands is a reuniting energy. It's like, I'm always with you. I walk by your side. You may not be able to see me, but I'm sending you signs. Ask for something very specific, and I feel like you're going to get it. And a lot of you, it will connect to seeing something out of your window is what I'm being shown first, because my guides are drawing me to this. But also, I feel there's messages in everything that you're being sent of unconditional love. Even if there was a complex relationship with this person, there's still a lot of unconditional love there. And I feel this person wants you to be truly happy. Okay? But in quiet time, in stillness, you'll notice the signs a lot more. So with a lot of love and respect, and this doesn't have to be like a partner that you're connected to. This could be a family member, someone you deeply care about, someone there's an unconditional love energy there with. So I'm sending you a lot of love and, you know, so many hugs out there. I wish I could just like hold you in this. But I do see here that this person is around you and guiding you, and you can feel their protection, and maybe music is the sign. You know, actually, like if you look at this card, it almost wants to form a rainbow. I hope you can see that there, okay? And there's these little bubbles, and there's lots of little symbols in those bubbles, and that one there, it's just caught my attention. Looks like a musical note. So perhaps you're going to get lots of messages through music or lyrics of music. Maybe it's something that you've been asking for. Send me a sign. Let me hear that song. It'll be like an omen that they are around you. You're going to get that, okay? So I feel like lots of happy memories are coming. I feel like you're going to build new memories as well. And there is a lot of happiness in your future. And of course, grief will come in waves. So I feel it's going to be a process. There's necessary steps, but a lot of you could be in shock or be like almost like something in your life made everything stand still. And it's been hard to move past that. But I feel it will be a process. And, you know, I actually hate that sentence, time is a healer, because, you know, it gives you the space to contemplate it, to navigate it, but you never truly get over something. You'll just feel differently about it. You know, there'll always be that wound or that trigger. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there if you're dealing with that, and so much love. But I do see you're going to get lots of signs from this person to let you know that they are around you, okay? So some of you could be dealing with that at this time, but with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to disconnect from this energy and remove myself from that energy at this time. I mean, the Lover's card in this position can indicate some of you are going through something that is really changeable, and you feel like you have no choice but to go through it. For example, if this is hormonal related, it can be that you are, you know, maturing and you're going through a change in your body, or you've been dealing with something health related at this time that has changed everything within you. And one day you're up, the next day you're down, and it's very changeable. And it may rely on your choices, the things that you connect to, things that perhaps you like, that trigger you. But you're trying to manage that at this time. I feel like you may actually cut something out fully in order to make sure you have more control, or manage a symptom and come back into balance there as well. Now also the Lover's card is giving me strong vibes of friendships. So I feel some of you, there could be change in friendships or relationships at this time, but I feel like you are doing you and prioritizing your own needs. And of course, you will reunite with these people in the future, but right now, I feel there's an alone time that is necessary, or a pause that is necessary for you. And I feel, you know, there's a lot of love there, and the right friendships, of course, they're always there for each other, no matter what each person is going through. And sometimes you can not see a person for years or months, or, you know, and it just feels the same. And I feel a lot of you are holding on to those friendships at this time. And if you're currently soul searching and trying to find your soul tribe members, I feel you will find people in your community connected to something you're passionate about, something that is creative, that brings you all together, okay? And you will find firm friends, people who meet you on a cerebral plane as well, people you gel with and have really interesting debates and conversations with there that share, common interests. That's coming through there as well, okay? Now, a lot of you, as I said, you could be evolving and things that you used to love are hitting differently. And the High Priestess indicates that you're in a period of reprogramming. And what I mean by that, it feels like part of you, it's like one foot is in the old you and one foot is in the new you. You're becoming at this time. And it can feel a little bit discombobulating, or it feels a little bit like, not that you're drifting, I don't feel like that at all. The High Priestess can indicate that there is a conscious move towards change or evolution, and you're connecting to your higher self, but you may feel withdrawn in these changes in order to kind of get to know yourself on a deeper level. The High Priestess energy is actually an energy of overthinking sometimes as well. Because you have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, I feel like you're trying to manage intrusive thoughts at this time as well. And the Four of Cups can indicate that you're disconnecting from these intrusive thoughts in order to have more command of your thoughts, but also to have more joy in the way that you think about yourself or life. Sometimes it's really hard when a thought pops in there and you're like, oh, I don't want to think about that. No, I don't want to think about those things. And it can be that you're managing your thoughts more effectively as you start to meditate or spiritually evolve. You're moving away from these cutting thoughts, as it were. But, when you have this on the earthly plane position, this can indicate a lot of you with the moon. You're clairvoyant, or you have visions, or you have a knowingness that needs to be explored at this time. And your calling is to sit with self a lot more, especially since it's a busy lifestyle that we have right now. A lot of you are trying to limit the noise or distractions in order to sit with self. And it says here wisdom, intuition, and the subconscious mind. So a lot of you, you're very cerebral, as I keep mentioning. So you may be actually really curious about the mind, the brain, how active it is, the thoughts, the dreams, the visions. You may be like really curious about how the mind works or how people's minds work. Some of you could also be someone who helps people. A counselor, for example, and how you can help people navigate these challenging times. But because this reading is about self, I feel a lot of you, there is this energy of you cathartically letting go of something and maybe even thinking about counseling for some of you. But I feel this is a card of reprogramming past situations in order to strengthen your position right now to inform a brighter future where you do not allow the past or anything negative from your past kind of hold you to ransom in this present moment, so you can actually have a lot more fun and joy and excitement in your future. So I feel a lot of you are kind of like looking at what you learnt in the past in order to inform today so that you can show up for yourself tomorrow and transform your life for the better. Now in the past position, of course, we have the King of Swords. So this can indicate that you're naturally an overthinker. And it can also indicate that you're trying to create structure in your life. But also this can be that, you may have felt in the past there was a little bit more order in your life. And I'm going to pull a card on this because there's this energy of moving towards more feeling, more empathy. So if you feel something that you went through, almost like shut down feelings as a protective measure. I mean, in the last couple of years, humanity went through some very challenging times. I mean, we're still going through those times. There's a ripple effect from something that occurred about 5 years ago that we all kind of remember. Okay, it's had a monumental effect on life in general. The economy. There's a ripple effect, and some of you may be trying to recalibrate through this ripple effect right now, whether it's relationships, friendships that have evolved from this, whether it is this sense of feeling detached as a protective measure there. There's this energy where there's like a monumental desire for security to make sure that you're ready for anything. You know, this can be fight or flight mode. This could be you tapping into your intuition, trying to make sure that you are aware that everything could change on a dime. And the Four of Pentacles with that Knight of Pentacles is you want grounding. You want to feel a little bit more secure, especially since you have so many cerebral cards. You know, you are an air sign and you have so many air energies here. It can be that things felt like they're up in the air or not as solid or grounded as they used to be. You still have a plan, you still have structure, and you still have your goals, something that you're working towards, and actually you really are a pro at whatever it is that you do, maybe even a pro at detachment. Some of you may be looking at that right now, and it is a protective measure. The Four of Pentacles can indicate that you're trying to create stability in your life, but you may be holding on to something that perhaps has held power over you or influenced you in some way, you know, really shaped who you are. And the Four of Pentacles, whilst it does indicate long-term security and protection, it can indicate that some of you, it's like a cautionary tale that you should not allow life to pass you by. You know, of course, we all have responsibilities there, but it can be that clinging on to something, or if you've dealt with like really selfish people or people who've tried to control you in some way, this is about setting yourself free, liberating yourself so that you can have a solid foundation, but also, you know, open yourself up to what else the world has to offer. So I feel a lot of you are getting closure on the past because your Queen of Swords energy is in your near future position. And the Knight of Pentacles indicates you're working really hard to make life work for you at this moment in time. You're fully invested. You're doing everything that you can. And stability is something that is on your mind. You're persevering through challenging times. And for some of you, you know, this can be that you're thinking about things that you're dissatisfied with at this moment in time, whether it is a circumstance outside of yourself, whether it is something that's been on your mind to change for a long time. Because I do feel with that moon energy, that is the nature of preempting change or fluctuations. And I feel like you're trying to navigate something right now or strategize a plan, but also factoring in that everything could change. So it's like having a backup plan for some of you. But I do see that you're secure. For you and your family, I feel like you're in a really good position. Community and togetherness to make something work. So this Four of Cups, it is in your potential position, and it can indicate that just out of the blue, the universe is going to send you something that you will celebrate. The moon energy indicates something behind the scenes is being orchestrated at this time that will benefit you. You know, Four Cups is always that turbulent cloud. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a turbulent cloud in the sky, and the hand of the universe pops out of that cloud and says, I know you've been going through some stuff. It's been challenging, but here, there's a cup here, something rewarding, something that is going to benefit you, an opportunity that has so much potential. And I feel that this could be you taking stock of something, but it can indicate that at first you're feeling let down in a situation, or you've been dealing with something that's been a struggle and you've been closed off. Your expectations have not been met and you feel that this is it. And I feel a lot of you are looking at something right now and saying, there's more to life than this, or there's more to this. And you're investigating something. You have very investigative cards. So you're very kind of like curious about something. You need to get to the heart of something. Now, for some of you, not all of you, and I don't really want to go into this, but it is there, so I got to acknowledge it. And this is only if you have been dealing with this. If you haven't been dealing with this, then this part of the reading is not for you, but I have to mention it because it's there. Some of you, there may be a trust issue in a relationship right now. This could be with a partner, because we got the Moon card there, we got the Four of Cups. Some of you may feel a little bit disappointed or let down. There may even be interference in the relationship. And this doesn't have to be that your person is cheating on you. This could be interference from a family member. It could be that perhaps your partner, you know, always takes their parent's side if they're trying to interfere in the relationship or micromanage what you do in the relationship. Or it could be a sibling or someone who's trying to control something here, and you're like, they're interfering. Why don't you step up and tell them that this is your life? Why don't you challenge them? And they may not have the courage to challenge them at this time, and you just feel so fed up of this. And it can be that, you will work together on this, and in the future, there will be a healthy sort of midway point, a coming together, an understanding, a change. So some of you will be navigating that at this time. And if with that 10 of Cups, that means happy ever after. That means everybody gets the best of both worlds. So this is if you're in a relationship. And I have to mention that because there are cards here that indicate some sort of relationship dynamic that perhaps is out of balance right now. So if you've had conflict, I feel like there will be resolution. There will be a supporting, healing environment where, everybody feels better about the situation again. But the 4 of Cups can indicate that there has to be some sort of intervention for some of you, or there has to be something that changes the dynamic for things to actually evolve in a better way, or a more rewarding way, shall we say. But bringing this back to your energy, because it's almost like I keep wanting to be brought outside of myself, of the energy right now. So perhaps that's how you're feeling. You can never catch a break to reflect and, prioritize your own needs, because there's always something outside of yourself that commands your attention, and you're getting a bit fed up with this. So it can be that you need to detach from something in order to spend more quality time alone, in order to get clear on a project or a structure or something that you're going to celebrate. It can be that you're working on something that's going to bring you like immense success, but it requires your private time, or requires you limiting distractions, a detachment. I mean, it literally says disconnection here. I'm feeling this from your reading. And it says apathy, contemplation, and disconnection. So perhaps you're called to disconnect at this time. Or for some of you, you feel so disconnected right now from sense of self that you're trying to reconnect to a part of yourself that you feel like you've lost touch with for some time. But you will reconnect. There is brighter times ahead here. I mean, this is in your near future position, which tells me that you are structuring your life. You're being very diligent and precise about what it is that you are needing to do. But this card here can indicate that you're sitting on the fence of a decision right now. And the Queen of Swords in your future position indicates in the next 6 weeks, you're going to make a decision. You're going to be decisive and take action towards something that you've been thinking about for a long time. But also, a lot of you are becoming aware of the power of your mind because of the cerebral cards that are around you. This energy right here can indicate that you've been thinking about something for some time. And with that High Priestess, you're connecting to different vibrations in the law of the universe that has the capability to attract what you need. So you're manifesting, you're reflecting. And that Queen of Swords indicates that you're being decisive rather than saying, you know what, I'd love to win the lottery. You're like, actually, I'd like to win a certain amount of money, and you're really precise about what that figure is. Or it can be that you're like, I want to make a certain amount of money that is realistic, and you're taking the necessary steps to do it. You're writing it down, documenting something, and being so precise. That 4 of Cups is delivering. It is like out of the blue, something you've been thinking about but hasn't shown up yet is now being manifested because you're taking the time out to reflect and acknowledge that your thoughts become things and that your words are actually spellings cast out to the universe. This is a casting out to the otherworldly ethers. The moon is a celestial body where there's mystery, but it can amplify. It can ebb and flow opportunity towards you. In the 4 of Cups, something is being delivered to you, something that you thought about, something, as you can see, that brings peace. There's a lotus flower there, kind of like unfolding. A lot of you, this can be that you just want some quiet time, that you're trying to limit any distraction or drama in your life. And perhaps you've had people around you who are interfering in something that you have as a plan for your life or the way that you're leading your life. You're like, you know what, I'm good. But this is your advice to yourself in this moment. And the 10 of Cups indicates that you want the happy ever after, but also you're really grateful for all that you have right now, and you're still trying to manifest all that you do not have. And I feel like you're making necessary plans in order to make it happen. And, this card here, it says perceptive, clear-mindedness, and complexity. You may be looking at the complexity of your mind and what brings you peace. You're a visionary. And I feel a lot of you, because you have so many thoughts, a mile a minute, going through your mind. And these thoughts, you may be looking at the nature of these thoughts. Do they raise you up or do they tear you down? So that's what I mean. A lot of you are taking control of your thoughts. You are managing any intrusive thoughts at this time, where as you mature, you are literally coming home to self and becoming at peace with oneself. You know, I feel there is a wholeness here with this card. So I'm also getting this energy of happiness coming from within, because there are so many people here with those 2 queens and a king of swords. A lot of you are learning the lesson that your happiness is not tied up with another. Happiness is from within. And that's why you have inner happiness written on this card, fulfillment and dreams coming true. You know, it takes a lot of hard work and pressure for your dreams to come true. And I feel like you are not wasting any time. You're taking action towards those dreams and they will become your reality. The 4 of Wands is celebration, so something definitely is coming in that you will celebrate with either family members, friends, or, you know, you will actually be really proud of yourself and say, I did it. There's a monumental kind of milestone showing up. There's more to go, of course, but I feel like you will celebrate a win there. Also, the 10 of Cups can be family responsibilities. You care so much about people. You don't want to let them down. And sometimes you lose sight of your sense of self, trying to make sure that everybody else is okay. And it's okay to prioritize your own needs. It's not a selfish act. But if you're constantly giving of yourself, you're depleting your energy. The moon is a depletion. The moon cannot shine all by itself. It requires the sun in order to shine. So a lot of you may have dependents, or you may have people who rely on you, and you're still going to adhere to those duties, but you must not forget yourself in that. Otherwise, you're going to be completely exhausted and running on empty. Now, circumstances outside of yourself, the Page of Wands indicates there's news coming on in that you will explore and actually be very excited about. This is a card of curiosity. So this can indicate that your calling right now is to reflect and get curious about your passions and life again, that spark, that inner spark. This can be that you're called to be more spontaneous. Even though you have responsibility and structure in your life, spontaneity is important. Variety is the spice of life. So I feel a lot of you, this could be a new adventure, or you yearn for new adventures or a creative endeavor, to be inspired again. This is the catalyst for change. There's a lot of potential here. This page heralds good news. So whatever this is for you, it's going to be different for everybody, of course. This can be that you are taking the initiative to do something, and it's going to be very exciting. For example, you have people here, so this could be that you're launching yourself into a commitment. If you're with a partner already, it can be that you're feeling like in a questioning mood, like, where's this going? And suddenly your partner pops the question and you're like, oh, and now you're reflecting on this commitment. All the organization that goes with planning a wedding, for example. For some of you, this could also be that you're looking at the loyalty in your friendships, and you're recognizing who's taking a step back in your time of need and who's stepping forward to really be there for you as a support network. But it says here exploration, excitement, and freedom. So a lot of you, you may be disconnecting or ending something right now, and in that there is a freedom, because it aligns you with something that brings you joy and happiness and sets your soul on fire again. Now, this is the hope and a fear position. We have the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is to care a lot. You're very sensitive. So it can indicate you care so much about whatever it is that you're attached to at this time, whether it's your career goals, family. You have that 10 of Cups there. You care so much about the people around you. Sometimes you care so much it hurts. That's what's coming through there. And it can lead to a lot of pressure. You just want everybody to be happy. But there's a lot of pressure on you to bring that. And you are not responsible for other people's happiness. And of course, you may always be there bringing your A game to make sure that everybody's okay. But sometimes people, no matter what you do for them, it's never enough. And they'll keep taking and taking and taking. And there is this energy coming through, and I don't really like this saying, but it's coming through anyway. It's like, if you constantly raise people up and treat them like a star, they'll treat you like a fan eventually. So a lot of you could be adjusting how you approach a person or a situation because you're giving so much to that situation that you're losing sense of self, or you are changing or shifting the dynamics where it feels out of balance. And now you're readdressing the balance there, okay? So that's really random. I don't know where that came from, but my guides wanted me to give you that energy, okay? But let's move back again and ground this energy, because that's, of course, not going to resonate with all of you there. But I'm getting this energy of comfort. You know, the Queen of Cups is all about comfort. So some of you, you know, when you're hungry for something, ambitious for something, comfort can quash passion, for example. You know, sometimes you hear about these people who take jobs that pay a lot of money. You know, they're ambitious, they get to the top, they've got lots of money, but it can be that, you know, they sacrificed a dream for that money. For some people, that dream is the money, but it can be that, you know, you get comfortable in that, and then you don't get so hungry for opportunity. But I feel there's this energy for wanting to be independent or wanting to keep a dream alive and not allow it to fall by the wayside. It's almost like you're protecting something at this time. Comfort can also exist with spontaneity. You know, we build a structure. For example, you know, we are told that as we grow up, we get a job that pays the bills so we can afford a property. We lock ourselves into a mortgage, some of us, you know, or we're renting, for example. We lock ourselves into debt, for example, in order to live life. And, you know, that place that we live is comfort. It is a sanctuary. It is a property that we make our own, for example. But it becomes a structure that binds us to the spot. And sometimes we feel limited in that energy. You know, we're pooling all our resources, our finances to pay for that mortgage or that debt, for example. And it means that we don't have as much to go out and explore life or the world, or, you know. So I'm just giving you an idea that sometimes we lock ourselves into a cycle of repeat. And I feel a lot of you are trying to release yourself from something that bound you or binds you so that you can be more curious, so that you can be more spontaneous, so that you can get out there and do more things that you care about. It's like you're opening this window, as it were, to let some fresh air into your life. Maybe even to, like, let some fresh air into your home space. I'm not sure. I just get this breath of fresh air running through your life at some point because you're making some necessary changes that change everything there. I mean, for some of you, because this Queen, which is, of course, a person, in the resistance position, it can indicate that you're dealing with or have dealt with someone in the past who was emotionally manipulative, or perhaps, you know, insecure, and you kind of like overcompensated for their insecurities. And you gave so much of yourself to this situation that you lost a part of yourself in this. And it can be that you're now returning to your sense of self. Okay, there seems to be that in its core at the very foundation of this reading somehow. And for some of you, that Queen of Cups energy, it can be an addiction, especially since the Devil card came out there. You know, I'm giving you the meanings of the cards as well as the energy that pops out. So some of you, you could be conquering an addiction or an addictive behavioral trait that you have, and you are now in command, and you're not returning to that. It's like that cycle stops now. And you celebrate this. I mean, for some of you, you could be celebrating that you have been off the wagon for so many years, and you're celebrating this moment and you're proud of yourself. For some of you, it can be that you are celebrating your wins a lot more rather than just saying, okay, I've accomplished this and now I'm on to the next. You may be stopping and saying, actually, I did this, and be really proud of it rather than just be constantly on the go. You're a human being. You're not just a human doing. So a lot of you are finding stillness in that to acknowledge how far you've come and what you're capable of. You're making a legacy for yourself there. The Four of Wands actually means celebration. It means, you know, something coming on in. I feel actually it's some news here, something that you will celebrate, something that, you know, you have accomplished. But also it's important connections. So a lot of you, this can be that you are giving your energy to important connections in your life. You're being more discerning about the energy that you give. And of course, this is about being more creative or getting out there, having fun, finding time to integrate, especially if you've been very solitary energy recently. This is a card of sitting with self, reflecting. So it can be that you're finding things that bring you joy or that you have an affinity with. People, like-minded situations, things that you're passionate about, involving yourself in community or in creative activities or hobbies where people come together and share a moment. So I feel like a lot of you are finding your soul tribe or integrating into the community. And it can be daunting, especially if you've been very independent and, on your own or in a certain dynamic for some time. It feels like a monumental era where something has changed within you and now you're navigating a new period. But you're going to find people who are going through something very similar or understand you or see you or appreciate you in a different way. Also, the Four Wands can be that there's peace, tranquility, harmony after discord, stability after challenge, and a rest. There is also this energy of perfectionism. Some of you, you're looking at the perfectionist side of yourself and recognizing that when you put so much pressure on yourself, you tend to tear yourself down, and you're trying to logically sort of remove those intrusive thoughts and realize actually you are unique. You've come a long way. You're capable of so much, and you've already accomplished so much so far. There's more good stuff to come. I want you to be aware of that. So be proud of yourself in that. But it says here, community, home, and celebration. I mean, some of you are literally moving home at this time, or you are relocating, or you're soul searching for where you feel like you belong. But a lot of you are coming home to self. And I feel this is where you empower yourself at this time as well. You conquer something within yourself. You conquer something outside of yourself as well. And I feel the path is being made clear because the moon is all about the path being made clear for you to conquer a mountain or come out the other side of something, changed, but successful and triumphant. So I'm just going to go and get some final cards for you. It was necessary that you go through this ending so you can pursue the life that you're destined to lead and then leave the past behind. That's your first card. I mean, that definitely connects here because it feels like you're separating from something that you once knew, even if it's a part of yourself. But the next part of your journey is really rewarding. And I think I mentioned it a moment ago as well, that sometimes we have to walk away from something and we'll have lots of questions. Lots of soul searching, and sometimes we have to give ourselves closure or realize that we have to move forward without the answers. Well, your second card is it's okay not to have all the answers. So if you're feeling uncertain about something, it says the answers will come to you when you need them. So walk tall and know that you're heading in the right direction and you're making the right decisions. Just going to go and get some final cards for you. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Librans? What else do they need to know at this time? Okay, so we have life isn't a sprint. It's a long race, and you're not in it to just win. You're here to experience, to learn. It's a process. As I said, you're not just a human doing, you're a human being. So this is about acknowledging that. Life can be a lot of a hustle bustle. And as you can see there's a robot on that card. So it can indicate that you're not just a robot, like being productive, doing things, having a plan, structuring it, always being on the go. You are someone who has a lot of feeling, a lot of empathy. And maybe for some of you, this is a calling to disconnect from certain devices that distract you in order to sit with self, in order to meditate. It says here, as I said, I just want to show you the card because I didn't. It was necessary to have this ending so that you can pursue the life you're destined to lead, leave the past behind. So a lot of you are definitely disconnecting from something, detaching from something that was not fulfilling. For some of you, this can be something that was boring. or didn't meet your expectations. But it's okay to not know where you're headed next. I feel like you're on a trajectory to reach your desired destination and celebrate it. But sometimes you just got to put one foot in front of the other and trust the process. It says there's still time to change the road that you're on. It's never too late. So if you are contemplating change, on the other side of that decision is reward, happiness, fulfillment, and everything that you desire. It's about summoning all of that strength in order to make that change. A new career path will be highly successful. Trust the magic of the newness. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be about a career path, but if you're going through that right now, this can be, you're thinking about being independent, for example, and it'll be very successful. Even if you're contemplating a contract, because there is a contract energy there, a proposal with that Lover's card, you know, it will be a highly successful move for you. But also, this can be you just contemplating a new path right now, and it will be a successful one. And it says, don't fear a blank canvas. Use it to turn your life into a masterpiece. So sometimes we are given that void energy to discover a new way, to get curious. So if you've been feeling a little bit bereft or soul searching, it's because you're finding a new way to do something or approach something, or rediscovering that spark within yourself to embrace a new adventure. There's a lot of cards here about newness. So I feel like you're detaching in order to embrace this new era in your life. And that can come in many different areas. Look at that. That trinket just popped out. Okay, so this is about you being on target. It's very much connected to Mars energy, taking action on something. It's that fiery, passionate spark. You completing a goal or aiming for something right now with structure and strategy, and you will celebrate it. So it's like, what are you aiming for right now? It can be the quiet before you launching yourself into it. The contemplation before you engineer the plan. And we've also got a seahorse. So if some of you are single, you know, this can indicate that you're about to find a soulmate, someone who aligns with you completely, okay? And they may not be your usual type, but they definitely fit. They, you know, will join your family lineage. Get married if you want to go down that route. Not everybody wants to go down that route, of course. But of course, as well, I have to acknowledge that the seahorse does things differently. You know, the male seahorse carries the babies to term. So it could be that you are doing something differently in life that maybe people don't understand right now. You're doing it your own way. And it may be unique, but it's going to be rewarding. And it may be against some sort of structure, or it may be like against the laws of the way things always are done. But you're a maverick, you're a visionary, and you're making something happen on your own terms. And you're going to celebrate yourself for doing it, for taking the initiative to make that change. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I hope something resonates in this reading. Very complex, so it may not resonate with everyone, but I have to honor everything that came through there. So I hope there is something in there for somebody. So thank you so much, my beautiful Librans, and love and light.